Hello children. In the last class we have to study about the French revolutions. What is the main trigger has a point out for the French revolution. Also we have to study. Today in this class the chain of events I told in last class, that means what are the causes of French revolution. The events which are those that we have to categorize it as a causes: political cause, social cause, economic cause. So political class arbitrary rule I have to explain for you in first class. So now today let us throw light on the French society. French society has been divided in three groups: are estate, first estate, second estate, third estate. First estate consists clergy, second estate nobility, third estate consists businessman, merchant, court official, lawyers, artisans, peasants, landless laborers and servants. So, the entire society brought into the bracket of three estates, where the clergy work for the church, coming under the umbrella of clergy, whereas the noble people, they officially who work for the church, they are closely associated with the kings or monarchy, they come under the nobles. The third estate belongs to businessmen, merchants and court officials are the extra people who are work under the clergy and nobility. So they are clutches of the clergy and nobility. In this society, we should be remember that very significant point, that is, first estate and second estate enjoyed the privileges by birth and they have exempted from paying taxes to the government, whereas the noble people, they enjoyed the feudal privileges. Feudal privileges means who are having a land, that is 60% of the land coming under the control of the nobles, and who are working in that land, who are not having the land, the servants belongs to the third estate people, they work under the nobles. So here sometimes they have to work with the less wages, and sometimes without wages they have to serve their duty towards the nobles. So finally we come to know that third estate people could not have any privileges in that society except first estate and the second estate. That means here whatever the government imposes taxes, it is totally burden on only alone the third estate people in the form of two type of taxes. One is tithe and tile. Tithe, a tax levied by church comprising 1/10 of agriculture produce, and the second one, tile, tax to be paid directly to the state, such as a day-to-day life commodities and the things what we have to purchase like salt, tobacco, etc. So this was the situation we have to see in the French society. Totally we should come to understood in this topic, that is, here only privileges are enjoyed belongs to the first estate and the second estate, whereas the third estate mandatory for them to pay the taxes to the government as well as the church. So at that point of time, in the later point of 18th century, we should see this situation in French society. The next topic, the struggle to survive. In this slide, we will come to know how they have to survive their life, what happened in that time. See, the population of France rose from about 23 million in the 1715 to 28 million. It rose up in 1789. That means here how much increased the population? 5 million population was increased. So because of this, when the population increases as well as the demand of food grain also increases. So the production of grains could not keep a pace with the demand. It not compete as a same. It not match with the production with the demands of the people. So because of this, what's the result? The cost of the commodities will be rose up. So, most of the workers were employed as laborers in the workshop whose owner fixed their wages, but wages did not keep up pace with the rising prices. That means it should be not matched with the rising prices of food grains in that time. So, this leads to gap between the poor and the richer widened. That means poor become the poor, richer become richer. Things became worse whenever the drought or the hail reduced the harvest. When the flood occurred, what will go? Everything will be destroyed in that situation, or when it will be occurred, then the place will be disaster with that drought. So this leads to rise the problem of substantial crisis in the France during the old regime. So I said substantial crisis has arrived in France. So what does it mean by substantial crisis? It means a situation where the basic needs of people endangered, especially food, clothes and shelter. Those situation as known as substantial crisis. When cost of bread rose, the wages are not rose at that way or that range. So because of this reason, here a very tough situation has arisen in France. It leads to convert as a substantial crisis. Growing middle class. In this subtopic, we will come to know already in the that is in last slide we have to study that peasants and workers, they have become anger towards the country because they have the problem to pay the taxes compulsory to the government, and also they arise the problem of subsistency crisis. So now what they have to done, how they have to taken as a challenge in their life, what they have to do to turn their life, that we will come to know. Peasants and workers had participated in the revolts against the increasing taxes and food scarcity. The third estate, who had become the prosperous and had access to education and new ideas. So in the third estate, people who are consist the lawyers or the court officials, merchants, businessmen, they have to change their ideas. They have to emerge with the new ideas. So with that ideas, they are struggling to survive their life. Means they are earned their wealth through an expanding overseas trade and from the manufactures of goods such as woolen and silk textile. Now all educators belongs to the third estate group. They believe that no group in society should be privileged by birth. Rather, a person's social position must depend on his merit. So they are asked, they have to raise the question in the society, why only they has given a privilege to the first and second estate, why they should not given to the third estate. There is no any written document is there, only to give the privileges for the first estate and second estate. So these ideas, these questions has been walked in the minds of the third estate people. So these ideas accept the society based on freedom and equal law and opportunities for all. These ideas forwarded means how they will come to who are the great people who has changing their ideas towards their life. These forwarded by philosophers such as John Locke and Jean Jacques Rousseau are the philosophers who has to change the minds of the third estate people. Locke sought to refute the doctrine of the divine and absolute right of the monarch. Rousseau, he wanted to form the government based on social contract between the people and their representatives, whereas one more philosopher is there, Montesquieu, who has proposed the division of power within the government, that is executive, judiciary, and legislature. So this model of government existed in USA after the 13 colonies declared their independence from Britain. So this was the best example for the political thinkers in France. They have to get the idea by taking this inspiration. They also need the equality, freedom in the country. So the ideas of these philosophers were discussed with extreme concentration everywhere, such as in the place of salons, coffee houses, and spread through books and newspaper. So, in this movement, what happened in that country? These were frequently whatever they have to spread the news, and frequently they have to read aloud in groups for the benefit of the uneducated who are not able to read and the write. They have to convey the message by loudly to saying in the group. In this situation, Louis XVI has making a plan. He has arranged the pause got over. Frequently, the news that has came, the Louis XVI planned to impose further taxes to be able to meet the expenses of the state. By this, people become anger and protest against the system of privileges. The outbreak of revolution. So in the middle growing classes, we have to learn that finally what happened there, because of the angers and people, they have to turn into the mode of the protest. Louis XVI. So why they have to ready to protest against Louis XVI? Because he has planned to impose the tax. So here we will come to in this subtopic how he has to impose, what are the outbreak are there for this revolution. We will come to know in this topic. Louis XVI has been planned to impose the tax. Monarchy cannot impose tax without the meeting of the Estate General. Estate General means where the three groups together, they have to attend the meeting and they have to decide to impose the taxes to the state. So, last meeting was held in 1614. Now, on 15th May 1789, after 175 years, they have to conducted the meeting, that is General Estate meeting. Yes. Louis XVI called the General Estate meeting to pass the proposal for new taxes. To call the meeting, he has to arrange the attractive hall in Versailles was prepared to host the delegates. First estate and second estate sent 300 representatives each in that assembly, whereas 600 representatives for third estate, who were more prosperous and educated members, they have been entered with the grievances and demands. Grievances means complaints and demands of the peasants and poor with the letters of 40,000. they have to enter the assembly. Now, voting had to be conducted on principle that each state had one vote. I told that each state had one vote, means 300 representatives equal to one vote. So 1 plus 1, that is the first clergy group and noble group, 1 plus 1 2, and whereas the third estate they have the 600 representatives, but value is only 1. So this system they are not satisfied. So that, and here also we should be remember one more point is there. Here in this meeting they are denied the people belongs to the third estate, they should not enter in this assembly. Who are those? Peasants, artisans, and women were denied the entry to the assembly. When king go to appeal with the old system of voting, suddenly the third estate member demanded that voting now be conducted by the assembly as a whole. That means whole people has to get the right to vote, where each member have one vote. Like according to Rousseau idea, where he has written in his book The Social Contract. When king rejected this proposal, that is each member they have to need a vote. Each member have one vote. This is not happy with this system. Who? King. He has been rejected this proposal. Frequently there's become upset and annoyed who has demanded in that meeting. So third estate member they have to went out or boycott the assembly in protest. Next subtopic, formation of National Assembly. On 20th June, when they have to rejected, when they are not happy with the kings, they did not ready to change the voting system. Because of that, they have to walk out of the assembly in protest, and when they have to walk out of the assembly, then they have to gather on 20th June. Whole people assembled in a hall of an indoor tennis court at Versailles. They declared themselves as National Assembly and swear they have to promise it, swear or they have to promise it that until to create or to establish the drafted constitution for France, we should not distract this place, we should not go out of this place. They have to take an oath in this tennis court. The constitution limit the powers of monarch. This was the main intention in the minds of the third estate people. They were led by the Mirabeau and Abbe Sieyès. They are the two famous philosophers who has to oppose the system of feudal privileges in French society. See a very important point that they both are belongs to the noble and priest family, but they are given a support to the third estate group. People were busy at Versailles drafting a constitution. The rest of France simmered with the turmoil. Means what's happened? What was the situation was occurred in that a great disturbance has arisen in France. What is that disturbance? That is a severe winter had meant a bad harvest. Because of that, the price of bread rose. Often the bakers exploited the people in this situation. They are taking the huge amount to get the loaf of bread. So, because of this, a poor people not able to get a piece of bread. As a result, people has become angry towards the shops. So, especially women who are standing a long period of time in the queue, then also they did not get the loaf of bread. This will be turned into the trigger. What happened here? They have to storm the all shops in France. At the same time, the king ordered the troops to move into the Paris on 14 July. What we have to study in the first previous class, that is Bastille Palace are stormed by the people. That is we have to see now in this situation. So this is the main important trigger has been raised the French Revolution. So this news has rumorsly spread from village to village that Lord of Manor had hired the bands of brigands who were on the to destroy the ripe crops of the people. This is become caught in frenzy, that is madness of fear. Peasants several districts seized the horse means horticulture and attacked the Chataks. Chataks is the castle at the stately residence belonging to the kings. In the literal language, we can say they had to attack on king palaces. So they looted the hoarded gain and burned down the documents which contains the records of manorial dues. Finally, they looted all the hoarded grains, that is a huge collection of grain, and burned the documents which contain the records of dues. By this fear of many people belongs to the nobles, they have to left their houses and many of them migrating to the neighboring countries. So now Louis XVI finally he has come to recognize that the National Assembly has been accepted. According to the principle, his power would be from now on be checked by the followed by the Constitution. On the night of 14th August 1789, the Assembly has been passed the decree abolishing the feudal system of obligations and taxes, and the members of the clergy too were forced to give up their privileges. Tithes were abolished and lands owned by church were confiscated, means seized. As a result, the government acquired the assessed worth at least 2 billion livres.